You know, it really doesn't seem to matter the age. But if you're a single man, we all know a single man. It might be a friend, it might be, a family relative, doesn't matter. But usually, most single men, when you stop by their place, what do they have? Maybe one photo on the wall, a TV stand, and a TV. That's most of it. And then you ask, "Hey, man, when you gonna get some furniture around so we can hang out, maybe sit down a little bit?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm getting some furniture here in the living room." So you're like, "Okay, cool." So you come back the next day and they got a couple lawn chairs in there. They're like, living room's complete. That's kind of how I feel right now adding this one poster up here in this studio. I mentioned I was not going to add anything Kansas City Chiefs to these bare walls until they proved to me that they were deserving. And I think yesterday's win over the Colts is about as deserving as it gets. Well, welcome in Chiefs Kingdom to Chiefs Latest. This is your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers. Man, I can't think of a better way to start this week. Playoff hopes, they're still alive, but I'll tell you what, the defense, they look good. The offense, Eh, we got so much to talk about over the game and a new signing here for the Chiefs. But that's right, before we dive into any of the action that I have for you guys today, I need you to do me a huge favor. I know we're all in a good mood, so let's help each other out here. Chiefs Kingdom, let's spread the love here on this lovely Monday since we're all in a good mood. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and also turn on those notifications because we have that's right, daily videos here at Chiefs Latest, Monday through Friday. Playoff hopes, they're still alive. Chiefs, they're still signing players. You're not going to want to miss any of the news, rumors, or actions regarding this team. So please hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications as it not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Again, this was not a pretty day for the offense, but the running game, more specifically Kareem Hunt, is really the only highlight in this contest when you look at the offensive side of the ball. Well, I guess you could say Rasheed Rice as well. He is deserving of that title. But Hunt got a career high 30 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, on 2nd and 7 in overtime with the season on the line. What do Chiefs do? They run the ball. I never thought I'd see it. Season on the line. They run the ball with Hunt. Again, 2nd and 7, overtime, he gains 10 yards. I mean, we don't even need to bring up the fumble that he had in the early fourth quarter, right? I mean, let's forget that. You know what? He had a good game, career high in carries. The only guy they trust. I'll let the fumble slides since they won, and we're now 6-0, I believe, maybe even 7-0 when Hunt gets 15 plus carries since last January. Again, finally leaned into the run game here a little bit. And when you run like that, the defense creeps up. And then boom, Rasheed Rice eats career high 141 yards, 132 after the catch in the second half alone. Give him the ball 18, 20 yards, and it turns into 40. A shallow cross, 15 more yards than what you're expecting. He's a chain mover. Now it's about the moments, which I will get here shortly. But I do need to be Mr. Nitpicky at just a little bit because I'm noticing Mahomes is getting that happy feet again. He's developing happy feet. It was relevant on Sunday. It's something to watch going forward. The Colts, they blanketed our receivers. They funneled everything underneath to tight ends and backs. They dared Mahomes to be patient, and he wasn't. Third down in the second quarter, he stepped right into the spy sack off a three-man rush. Off a three-man rush, that's on him alone. He had some overthrows on some deep shots that I wish he would have connected with, or he just was not trusting what he was seeing. Again, he had that early interception, didn't want to cause a mistake with the season on the line, so there were sometimes he didn't take the shot or take the risk. The line, though, it was inconsistent. Again, with movement due to an injury to Trey Smith, so pressure came quick. Mahomes was bailing early. He was taking his eyes, off downfield, or he had to roll out 10 yards deep just to get a throw off, just to even try to keep the play alive. Lou Anarumo, he had a good plan, especially the first three quarters against Mahomes. I mean, again, go back to that interception by Latu, who was prepared to watch Mahomes' eyes. He was prepared to get in the way. He knew what was coming. He set up the Colts nicely for that first touchdown that they had. But it did for a while there bring up some scary flashbacks for Mahomes, especially when Anarumo was back in Cincy. I was getting nervous for him, but I mentioned the moments are what matter, especially for a quarterback, especially when we look at their overall career. What did they do in the moment? Pat, he stepped up, finished 11 of 17 for 158 yards in the fourth quarter and overtime alone. He led 3 scoring drives. But the red zone offense was brutal. Twice inside the 5 in the first half, 0 touchdowns off those two. Kelsey Snead called back on a soft Jawan hold. The way we milked the clock before half, then you only kick a field goal instead of punching it in. Only 1 for 6 in the red zone on the day. You went 3 and out to start the third, and you couldn't salt it away at the end of regulation. But at least we finally finished in overtime. But at the end of the day, we ran 71 plays to their 50. You kept Jonathan Taylor off the field. That's winning football, A. And B, when you go against a better quarterback than Daniel Jones, keeping him off the field. This looked like last year's Chiefs, finally, pulling it out when it mattered, winning a one-score game. Rashee Rice, Kareem Hunt, they dragged us across the finish line on offense. They were the highlights, and they should be praised for that. But the red zone issues, the happy feet from Mahomes, it almost cost us. Especially, I guess you could say that fumble from Hunt almost cost us as well. But clean all that up. Who knows what this confidence boost can do for this team and this offense moving forward. But again, I just wish I could see Mahomes maybe connect on some of these deep shots more. Again, Thornton wasn't really part of the game plan at all. I think he might have had 1-2 targets. So there's things that still need to be cleaned up. But finally, they leaned into the run game. They relied on Kareem Hunt. Look what happened. It opened up everything else. Mahomes was able to cook in the fourth and overtime when it mattered. You get the win. But enough about the offense, because again, they didn't really play that well. But this was a great game for the defense. Yes, you let them get some points on the board, of course, but this offense came in as one of the best, if not the best, in the league, stat-wise at least. I mean, yes, the first touchdown, it was gift wrapped it after the Mahomes interception, so don't even really count that one. Now, the second drive, it wasn't that great either, but what came after that was a clinic for this defense. They let Indy kick 2 field goals to start the second half. Of course, 6 points total compared to what easily could have been 14 points is way better. One drive started at our 14, the next got down to the 5, but yet you still walked away with nothing but 3 each time. That's definitely bending without breaking. That's the definition of bending without breaking. We even snapped a 31-drive touchdown streak in goal-to-go situations that dated back to last season for Indianapolis. So again, the first time all year that the Colts got stuffed inside the 5, it could not have come at a better time, at least for Chiefs fans. Jonathan Taylor, the league's leading rusher, was held to 58 yards on 16 carries. Take away one 27-yard gash on 3rd and short, and it's 31 yards on 15 totes. 2.1 per rush. It's only the second time since early October that he's been held under 100 total yards. What did that do? Well, it forced Daniel Jones to win it by himself. Exactly what I said that the Chiefs needed to do on Friday, because he was going to make a mistake or two. Now, the mistakes didn't necessarily come in the term of a turnover, but he was 2 for 8 in the fourth quarter with 3 straight 3-and-out drives. He missed Pittman wide open on a 3rd down, and he should have been picked off later, but Bolton and Jamari Connor ran into each other. So honestly, he probably should have had a turnover. Again, this is Daniel Jones. Has he looked better in Indianapolis? Yes. Is he doing better in this system? Well, in the past couple weeks, you could argue, but yes, up to this point, yes, he has. Is he still Daniel Jones? Yes, he is. You have to make him win the game for the Colts. You got to limit Taylor, make Jones do it, and we have not seen him been able to really do it. 13 third downs faced. They only had 5 converted. 0 fourth down tries. This is a top 10 third and fourth down offense when it comes to conversions. 2 of those failed third downs were in the red zone. Turned touchdowns into field goals. Again, it might have been good to be behind in that situation because the Colts didn't feel the need to be aggressive. They were just going to play with that lead. They were just going to take the field goals. Your offense didn't look that good. They trusted their defense. So honestly, as weird as it sounds, it might have been good for the Chiefs to be playing behind. Don't let the Colts get aggressive because, again, they were top 10 in fourth down conversions and crunch time when it really mattered. That stop in overtime, 3rd and 1, Tranquil and Chris Jones blew it up for a loss of 2. They did not let Taylor get anything going. Not only that, no play action rollouts for Jones, no quarterback sneaks. Again, you wonder if it had to do with that cap or fibula that he kind of dealt with earlier in the week, that when he just popped up on the practice injury report. So there was a blueprint. We just talked about it. And the Chiefs followed it to a T. They stuffed Taylor. They made Jones beat them, and he couldn't. So the Colts, they're knocking on the door here of being a legit contender. But after seeing that Jones can't really will them the way that I think they would like, after we've seen what they've looked like the past 2 weeks, I just don't think they're quite there yet, or at least their last 2 games, I should say. I don't think they're quite there yet. Our defense slammed it shut when it mattered the most. And again, this is not a Colts podcast, so I don't really care that they're not quite there as legitimate contenders. In fact, I'm glad they're not legitimate contenders. It makes the AFC playoff picture not as scary when you think of them as not legit contenders here. But this is a Chiefs podcast, so the defense showed up when it mattered most, especially, but really all game outside the first 2 drives. Well, with the good comes the bad, however. I thought I hit the transition there, but I did not. But now you see it. With the good comes the bad. So, yes, a much-needed 23-20 overtime win, but at what cost as the injury bug kind of bit us hard once again. Trey Smith, I mentioned it earlier, but he limped off in the first half, got the ankle retaped, came back for a bit, then he was ruled out at halftime. So that was a massive loss. He's already missed a game earlier this year with those back spasms, and the game just looked completely different without his nasty interior push. Then Christian Roland Wallace, what a name. Every time, I just gotta call him CRW or something. But anyways, he went down with a back issue later in the game. I mean, he's been earning more reps in the secondary. He's a special teams mover. You don't really want to lose him as well, especially don't want to lose Smith, but don't want to lose him. And then Noah Gray, he took a scary shot on that huge 3rd down grab late in regulation, immediately went into concussion protocol, did not look good. And with a game Thursday night, he might be a long shot in time to clear, but again, not the biggest loss, but that's your tight end too. You do want him. I mean, Chiefs love throwing a couple tight ends out there in sets, so that could be a big loss. Xavier Worthy, he was questionable coming in with that ankle, limped off early, but he gutted it out, made the 31-yard grab in overtime that set up the winner. So just amazing that he was able to come back. But again, it's still worrisome that the ankle is bothering him. It's not even his shoulder, it's the ankle. So he's just not 100% healthy. But the fact he went out there, made a big play, says something. Kareem Hunt, no, he did not end up on the injury report. But again, 30 carries plus overtime? He was just gas. He was limping at the end. That mileage he took was real. He just looked absolutely beat and tired. And again, we're going to talk about it some more, but with the game looming very soon, is he going to be ready to go? It's a short week to Dallas, so expecting Smith, Gray, Roland Wallace to suit up, that might be some wishful thinking. We'll have to see. Read post-game on Smith. Was this the classic day-to-day, zero details? So again, that translation, who knows? We're just going to have to wait for some more confirmation later in the week. So we just played our guts out to stay alive and now faced a Thursday challenge that could be without your starting right guard, a rising defensive back, and possibly our number 2 tight end. Worthy and Hunt are warriors, but boy, did they take a beating here in this game, and they're going to feel it today. Well, with Pacheco still nursing that knee, who is your running back 2? That has become a big conversation here within Chiefs Kingdom. I mean, Elijah Mitchell, he's either been a healthy scratch or just absolutely invisible when it comes to anything productive. Clyde's only here because he knows the playbook forwards and backwards. I mean, let's be honest. We floated this potential signing. That's right, we did on Friday. And bam, the Chiefs snag Dameon Pierce for the practice squad. Pierce barely sniffed the field in Houston. 4 games, 36 snaps total this season. Huge, and I mean huge drop off from that rookie season when he ripped 939 yards, 5 scores in 13 games before the ankle injury ended the season. He flashed as a receiver early too. 43 grabs on 56 targets, 266 yards and a score in his first 2 years. Pierce has a ton to show, especially after the last couple seasons. But hey, KC's the spot to resurrect him, especially after Sunday showed that this team does not trust anyone besides Kareem Hunt. Clyde managed 5 carries for 8 yards Sunday. I mean, that's nothing. Point is here, without Pacheco, it's Hunt or it's nothing. It was a move you had to make. He's got that power, he's got some cutback wiggle, and he's decent in pass pro. And as good as Kareem Hunt did, he's got more pop. He's younger up the middle. So yes, I'm not hating on Hunt because of his age here. But I mean, look at this. Pierce does have a little more just to his game there, especially up the middle. Plus, he's a return stud. Career 32.8 yards per kick. We're at 27.2 right now. That's good for 8th in the league. Not bad at all. Bring this guy in. Who knows? It could get just a little better. If Pierce lights it up in practice, he's the obvious Mitchell replacement here. But Thanksgiving in Dallas is right around the corner. Is he going to have enough time? There's no chance they want Kareem Hunt carrying 30 plus again after Sunday's workload, not in this short week. Signing Pierce late Sunday, getting him in the building, screams, we needed this yesterday. This is Beach being proactive for once this season. Low-cost deaths behind an untrusted room that's about to hit free agency hard. Pierce, no, he's not flashy, but he's reliable. And in a short week, that's what you need, especially with whatever Pacheco's dealing with, and we don't know the severity of it because he's still out. If Pierce pans out, the run game gets a real third option. If we don't burn out Hunt before the playoffs, again, a reason why you brought Pierce in just to take off the workload a little bit. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in on this lovely Monday. I mean, nothing but smiles, nothing but happiness here within Chiefs Kingdom. I get it. There are some things to worry about, some things I talked about specifically, including with Mahomes and the offense, red zone. But hey, I'm going to just enjoy the day. And I think you should too. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this victory against the Colts. What did you like? What did you hate? What do you want to see them do better? Things like that. I'm very curious to see what you guys said. Hopefully, I can reply to some of those within the next episode here. And also, what do you think about adding Pierce to the team? Once again, I'm your host, Calvin Silvers. You are listening to Cheifs Latest. And until next time, have a good one.